Yes, sir. What is going on, y'all? Happy Monday, February 10th, 2020, and welcome to episode number 104 on the Coach Cool podcast. It is a beautiful day to seek some challenge and to seek some perspective, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing in regards to this conversation. And for today's conversation and the topic of our discussions, we are going to be talking about the unsexy things, the unshiny things, the quote-unquote unimpressive things, and how when you really think about it, 99% of our lives are just that. Maybe it's taking the kids to school or washing our car or going to our jobs or finishing spreadsheets that we should have finished a month ago. All these different things that won't get you on TV, they won't get you any notoriety, but make up the vast majority of our lives. And how just because they aren't that sexy or they don't shine too brightly in some people's eyes, how that doesn't mean that they're not important. And what we're going to do is talk about those things and try to change the perspective on how much they do make a difference in our lives and the way that we could potentially be thinking about them so we can go about them in a little bit different way to get the most out of those situations. So we're going to let this one rip today. We're going to see what we got going on. Hopefully it can bring a lot of value. Maybe it'll brighten your day. Maybe it'll leapfrog you guys into this coming week. And we're going to see what happens, okay? So again, today on the Coach Cool podcast, episode 104, the topic of conversation is unimpressive does not mean unimportant. Let's get it. You're wired to fall in love with the big moments, the championship game, graduating from college, or the birth of a child. These experiences are ones that bring about great arousal, great emotion, and feelings that are hard to come by in our everyday routines and experiences. It is easy to yearn for these types of occurrences every waking moment, because once we get a taste of them, we're always going to want more. But what about the other 99% of our days? If we aren't experiencing these types of feelings, then are we falling short of what life should be consisted of? Or does it mean we are actually right where we are supposed to be and doing what we are supposed to be doing? In this day and age of technology and social media and TV and anything along those lines, perceptions of what others' lives look like can give us false impressions. The bikini pic on the beach, the stack of money on the table, or the dude posted up on the private jet with his boys can make us feel like we're doing something wrong, and that life is supposed to be and look like those types of experiences. While a picture can be worth 1,000 words, the context behind that picture is also worth 1,000,000. What if that same girl in the bikini on the beach is jobless? Or that stack of money on the table isn't his but somebody else's? Or the private jet that dude's posted up in comes at the expense of true happiness that stems from meaningful relationships with his family, his friends, or anything else. You see, life is not made up of the championship moments that surface every once in a while, but rather the day-to-day tasks and duties that we are called to execute. Maybe it's making the family breakfast, talking to a coworker, stretching, eating healthy, and the list goes on forever. These are the moments that our lives are mostly consisted of. So how can we find the perspective of meaning and gratitude in these moments and not just the big ones? This task is certainly one that is not easy, but is most certainly vital if we wish to get the most out of our days, our weeks, our months, and our years. Whether it was John Wooden teaching his players how to put on their socks, or Nick Saban's dad teaching them how to wash a car, the message remains the same. And the message is this: it all matters. No matter what it is, no matter who we are, no matter where we're from, every single thing we do matters. And if we can maximize that moment in which we are doing it and be present in that moment, then we have won. You see, unimpressive does not mean unimportant. Stretching our hamstrings won't get us on SportsCenter, but it will lead us to a healthier body. Reading won't get us on CNN, but it will allow for knowledge and growth to be found. And saying hi to someone in the hallway won't get us the Nobel Peace Prize, but it will be an act of kindness that maybe that person needed at that point in time in their day. So, as we attack this week, my friends, I challenge us to be mindful and present in the big and small moments. Let us realize the importance of not just the championship game, but rather the months and months of preparation every single day that allow us the chance at performing and enjoying the championship moments. Let's make that happen this week, y'all, because again, that is what the majority of our lives consist of. And if we can seek perspective and meaning and gratitude throughout it all, think about how much more fulfillment and happiness we will find as a result of that process and that perspective versus the other way around. Let's do it. Let me know what you think. Let's make it a great week, y'all. God bless. Coach Cool. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode and just listening to the podcast in general. It means the absolute world to me that you guys choose to take time out of your day and your busy lives to listen to me and the perspectives that I offer and the challenges that I give out and the conversations with the guests that I have on this show. And I very much hope it's bringing some sort of value into your life and you're finding benefit from these conversations and from these perspectives. And if you are one of those people, whether you've listened once or you've listened to all the episodes, I'm going to ask you right now if you feel so compelled to leave a rating and to leave a review, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or however you choose to listen to this show. I would very much appreciate that because that's how growth happens. That's how I can continue to learn and understand this thing from your guys' ears, not just my mouth, but make this thing more of a two-way street. And the more ratings and the more reviews we get, the bigger growth we can find and the more people we can reach with this thing as well. So again, if you feel so compelled, if you feel like this thing has brought value, I would very much appreciate that. Okay. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys for the day. And as always, I really, really appreciate you guys and God bless. Coach Coop.